All right, let's go to the next question. What are the most common reasons why someone new to product management does not succeed in product management? Greg.
They are project managers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was going to say the same thing, Greg.
Yep.
Well, says the project manager.
No,
absolutely.
No, totally agree with that. Totally agree. And you know, what happens is that, you know, you go through all these courses and you do the agile stuff and blah, blah, all those things, and you become a product owner, and you're turning into a project manager, and you're thinking like completely tactical all the time. And what so I differentiate between a product owner and a product manager quite differently. And I need you to grow to be, you know, beyond just a project, one by, you know, sprint by sprint, release by release, all those things, to actually think strategic. And if you can't move that direction, then you're not going to be, you know, a product manager holistically. You're just not.
But that's okay. I mean, you can be the best product owner in the world, and you should have your own vertical stack associated with getting promoted through the different levels of product ownership, because it's a very different skill set, and it's very hard to make product managers that are strategic into product owners that can actually deliver anything. I usually use this analogy with the difference between a chef and a cook. Both are needed. Both operate very differently, and a chef can't cook for 1,000 people, and a cook can't necessarily come up with very unique, very tasty dishes.
That's fantastic. I agree. I completely agree with that. And you know, then you stuff a business analyst into that mix too, and all of those together make, you know, something beautiful going forward.
Exactly.
One of the problems with project management is you get sucked into that vacuum. There's a void there, and if you're good at it, people just suck you into that, and it's hard to get out of that.
Well, and I wouldn't downplay project management as a key role. I would not at all. Project management, when it comes to, you know, very complicated, you know, endeavors, is really a key role.
Yeah, but it's not product management. It's
not product management.
Be clear on that. Yeah.
John, most common reason someone does not succeed.
Yeah, I'm just going to not answer your question for half a second and agree about the project management being different than product management. The roles I've been most successful in, I've had a peer project manager to help, because that is not a core skill set of mine. I'll do it when I have to, but like it is very different. So the people who don't succeed in product management, I think, have the very I guess it's the project management problem. They have or something similar. They have a very tactical view, a very narrow view. They are focused on shipping the next feature, you know, getting activity as opposed to outcome, I think, is probably the best way to summarize it.
Checking boxes, not delivering outcomes.
Yeah, not having impact. Exactly. I think that's where you can get tied up.
What I will add on to that is if I'm going to hire somebody junior that's brand new to product management, I'll throw them into a product owner role first, and then teach them, you know, to shift from tactical into strategic over time, and bring them forward into like strategic thinking and what we're thinking strategically and what goals are, and have them grow that way, as opposed to the opposite. Like somebody brand new all of a sudden thinks strategic. That's a tough one.
Yeah, it's easier to assess that when they're doing the product management pieces, the product owner pieces, because having some conversations with them, you'll see they're already talking strategic. They have these great ideas, and listening to the customers, because they do have the empathy usually. And so that is a great way to assess, Greg, is like they should already be, in order for them to move to product management as product owners, you can start sensing that they're ready because they already have that kind of skill innate.
Yeah, and I you know, put like when I talk to my you know, junior people and I tell them certain things, I kind of put things into like a sine wave, where, you know, the y-axis, the higher y-axis is like strategic thinking, and the lower one is tactical. And, you know, where do you actually sit, and how do you actually move across that sine wave? You know, as product managers, you start moving more and more, you know, strategic, and, you know, tactically, Product owners are like tactical. How do we get things done? And thinking that way. And then, as you mature, you actually will be able to balance all of those. And where do you actually sit?
So in the book Execution, Larry Bossidy with Ram Charan wrote about how he took the GE way and implemented it at Allied Signal / Honeywell. And one of the things they said is most executives have a orientation, either a strategic orientation or an operations orientation. And the biggest reason why somebody fails when they move up into a new leadership role is because they don't have that counterbalance, right? So if you come from a strategic orientation, that tends to be your lead. If you don't have a lieutenant who's a strong operations person, you're going to struggle. And vice versa. If you have an operations leader who does not have a strategic person, this is the first time in my head I really thought about how that really impacts in product management and the importance of having the balance of the operational tactical with the strategic.
Right.
I enlightened as I always get on this call. Steve.
Absolutely critical. I see that absolutely critical and as the enterprise gets more and more complicated, those things are key to be successful.
And again, it goes back to your original quote about the balanced team and filling out a portfolio of diverse skill sets. Steve, I'd love to get your take before we move to our final question.
I believe the reason people fail in product management is because they don't have a boss or a mentor to guide them. So they get pulled into every nonsense thing that comes along, and they don't have a boss saying, wait, what the hell are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing RFPs. Why not? The sales guy asked me to. Well, the sales guy asked for lots of things. He asked you to buy beer too. That's not your job, right? So without a mentor or a boss guiding that person is going to end up doing project management, doing sales engineering, and not being able to say no. So that's my answer. Steve,
the softball was going to be because they didn't have you as a teacher and coach.
Well, I was going to let you say that rather than me saying it. But I was hugely tempted.
Since all of us are students of, right? So let's go to this. This is our